Cost of paying off mortgages are much harder for younger generations. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to talk about this article which is discussing, well, the intergenerational inequality as the cost of paying off mortgages rockets for younger generations. Now, I can't imagine anyone is at all surprised with the differences in generations or how it's getting harder for younger generations to pay off their mortgages. Let's start by having a look and reminding ourselves of the different generations. You got the lost generation was from 1883 to 1900. Then you've got the greatest generation, the GI generation, from 1901 to 27. Then you've got the silent generation from 28 to 45. Then the baby boomers from 46 to 64. Gen X's from 65 to 80. Millennials and Gen Y from 81 to 96. That's right. Some millennials are already 40. We're the geriatric millennials. Then you've got the Zoomers from 97 to 2012. I think I noticed that when I was teaching at university, and I had to get a whole bunch of young people to model up a spaceship, a Star Wars spaceship, and they didn't know the first episodes. They only thought, the remakes or the new ones. Then you've got Generation Alpha from mid-2010s to the mid-2020s. They're the babies that we're making right now. So apparently we've got intergenerational inequality, and it's getting harder for the younger generations to pay off the mortgages. So let's have a look at this article because, well, I can't imagine it's going to be surprising to anyone. We've seen wage growth, guys, stagnate. The RBA has failed again and again. The wage price index, oh, there you go. Well, and while our cash rate is quite low, that also, well, it means that more people can borrow more. But it also means it's going to be harder to save up a deposit because you get no money on your interest. You get nothing for your interest. You put your money in the bank, what do you get? You got to jump through 50 bloody hoops with ING just to get 1% interest. And then that's capped at 100 grand. So anything you have over the 100 grand, you stick in another bloody account, you get what? 0.75. And don't tell me about Rabo. I've already done my introductory rate there, guys. Anyway. So, the lifetime cost of buying a home rocketed by 130% over 2 generations, an analysis has found. According to a new report by inequality-focused think tank Per Capita, released on Thursday, there's been a significant increase in the lifetime expenditure on the median mortgage over 3 decades and a consequent reduction in the spending capacity of average Australian households. So what this means, let's pull this apart. This means that the quality of life and the amount of money that people can spend on things has gotten worse over the last 3 decades. It's starting to make sense, isn't it? It feels right. It really does. But don't worry, houses are going to the moon. The analysis compared home prices, mortgage interest rates, and wage changes to see what proportion of a median income would go to cover the costs of the median mortgage for different generations. Now, median is right in the middle, everyone. It's about 50 grand. The average is about 62,000 per annum for Australians. 50 grand, that's right, 50% above. So 50% of Australians are earning less than that 50,000, and 50% are earning more. It's kind of depressing when you think about it like that. For a family in the silent generation, defined as having been born roughly from 25 to 1945, let's see how that compares to this. They're saying 25 to 45, yeah, 28 to 45, yep. Buying a home in 1970 required an average repayment cost over the course of the mortgage representing 11.2% of their gross income. That's it? That's it? For a baby boomer family buying a home in 85, that figure had risen to 19.5%. And for a Gen X family who bought in 2000 and have about 9 years left on their mortgages, Per Capita estimates they will spend 25.5% of their gross income just servicing the mortgage debt. Now, you've got to remember, we're hearing all of these warnings and concerns about mortgage stress. That's the definition of that is about 30% of your gross income going towards your mortgage or your house expenses or your rent. And here they're saying for Gen X it was 25.5. What's it going to be for millennials? So for them, low wage and inflation growth means that their debt declines much more slowly in real terms than for previous generations, per capita says. We estimate the Gen X family is paying $1,425 per month on their mortgage in 2021, report author Matt Lloyd Cape said. If they were on the same repayment trajectory as the boomer family, their monthly bill would be $910. If they were the silent generation, it would be just $440 a month. Wow. Different times, guys. Different times. It puts it all in perspective. I remember I went and talking to an older couple, bunch of boomers, and they were happily bragging how they did their house renovation and paid cash for everything to get mates rates. I'm thinking, yeah, and that's before GST was stuck and everything too, eh? The much higher cost of securing a home puts a significant constraint on household consumption, which accounts for more than half of Australia's economic activity, he points out. That's it. You got no money to spend because everything's going to your bloody house. The research argues that the Consumer Price Index, by treating a home purchase as an asset investment rather than as a daily expense, fails to adequately account for the cost of living increase for mortgage households over the past 50 years. 100%. Yes, I agree with that 100%. Because think about it, if the RBA took account of rising house prices just in the CPI, the ABS took account of that in the CPI, then our cash rate wouldn't be at this insane level. They would have adjusted it much earlier, and then that would have put the brakes on the housing bubble. Given that Australia's social welfare model is predicted on a mass house ownership, factoring the total cost of a home purchase must be incorporated into the cost of living measures, he said. We hope that this paper will contribute to a renewed focus on how low inflation and wage growth are contributing to intergenerational inequality, in this instance through the housing market. And it's tough out there for renters too. Recent Core Logic analysis suggests servicing a mortgage is cheaper than paying rent on 36.3% of Australian properties, up from pre-COVID proportion of 33.9% in February last year. So there we go, everyone. There we go. It's going to be interesting to see where this all falls. It's getting more expensive. That's what it is. It's getting more expensive. It's getting tougher. And that meant the biggest issue with that is that it manifests in things like the cash rate, because CPI isn't catching it properly. Then the government will respond to it, and they'll do things like, giving people incentives to buy into homes, and that will bubble up even more, like the home builder bloody thing. And then we've got a surge in building approvals, and then it's not. Everyone feels like they're getting free money, but it's kind of worthless because everything's gotten more expensive because there's supply issues, because it's overheating, because everyone's trying to get a house at the same time, because the government's giving everyone money. Welcome to Australia, guys. What do you think? What's your take or solution to this? We need to get off our housing addiction, and the ABS needs to start including that in the cost of housing. 100% agree with that one. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. Tonight at 7:30 on the Twitch channel for HeiseSays, come and join me for Freedom Friday. And also, if you want to support the channel, there are a whole lot of ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon, sign up for SelfWealth or Stake, use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband, buy our merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.